Hi, everybody. I had a fantastic session today with these two people, Avnish and Anita Goyal, and it was a session called the Finding Your Ultimate Partner, um, and it's all about relationships, in particular that special person. And I just wanted to share because I felt it was a very, very powerful event, and these two people were incredible, funny, charismatic human beings who were on stage. They had kind of Tony Robbins energy and charisma, with the depth of some of the landmark stuff that I've been doing recently, and it really provided insight into the kind of mechanics around finding the right person for you and having a relationship that could be described as ultimate, or extraordinary. Um, you know, things like the fact that we don't spend time investing in ourselves. Something that I've realized as well is that the best investment you can make um, may actually not be property or assets or whatever, stocks and shares, but actually in yourself. The fact that people don't spend money or time investing in themselves. And today was, it was a full day seminar, but it was about relationships and really understanding what it takes to connect to relationships. Because I think people seem to just wing it. And we end up, in situations where we're married or, 15, 20 years down the right line, you've got kids, but you lack closeness, you lack intimacy, you lack connection. So this kind of time to invest in what it means to be in a relationship that's functional and also exciting and exhilarating was worthwhile. Um, they spoke about a blueprint for love. So thinking about what are the different aspects of a relationship that work, that don't work, um, for you. So everyone's different, and it's like one of the things that people tend to do is when they go on a date, they look for whether that person will like me or not, or how about shift the conversation to whether you like them as an individual or as a potential partner. So there's a lot of it was about self-awareness, and one of the things I really got present to was the fact that it's only when you can really love yourself or know yourself that you can actually be someone valuable in a relationship. And typically, a lot of people go into relationships trying to fill a void, needing somebody to fill gaps in themselves. Like this concept of finding a better half. No, I don't know if I agree with that, and I think that's what the Avnish and Anita mentioned as well, is the fact that there is no such thing as two halves. You are complete and whole yourself, and the other person is whole and complete, and together you make a fantastic couple. But there's when you start coming from a place of one person's incomplete and the other person's incomplete, and together you kind of fill the gaps. You start entering spaces of expectation and neediness. Um, things like our emotional programming and limiting beliefs. There's so much depth behind the psychology of neuro-linguistic programming and sort of the world that Tony Robbins talks about is the fact that we have certain decisions that we make in our childhood. For example, one thing I didn't realize was so intense was that 80% of our emotional programming is done by the age of 8 years old, and by the age of 18, 95% of your core thinking and programming has been done in your brain. So it's really difficult to influence some of those decisions. So, for example, silly little things that as a child, um, my parents didn't give me attention at one point, and when there was some argument with my uncle, and I made that mean that I'm not good enough or not worthy, or something really petty, and not at that point probably sounded so serious. But those subconscious decisions are now they now show up in relationships, in interactions with other people. So just getting present to that, and then having the tools to remove some of those things that a 5 or 6 year old child made that are affecting the life of a 30-odd-year-old man, was really powerful. Um, there's lots of insight into what things could really damage relationships, like deal breakers, like really identify what are the key things that I will not negotiate on. Um, and it kind of ended with talking about how do you sustain a relationship. There's something called the language of love, and it's about just getting what it means for each other to be in a space of love, or how asking the question, how do you like to receive love, or how do you like to be loved? Um, So I know I get that this topic's a little bit out there, but I think it's something that people do need to talk about. We, yeah, exploring the world of meditation, it's become apparent that we live in a society which does lack presence. We don't necessarily live in the moment. We're so whirling and rushing around trying to achieve these things greater, bigger, faster. Trying to live in the future. And relationships are really about living in the present and really understanding and connecting to other people. And I guess ultimately this concept of your life partner or ultimate relationship, um, it could bring you the most joy, and that requires an incredible level of presence. So I strongly recommend when Avnish and Anita do the next session. This is what their thing looks like. You should definitely sign up. There's a Facebook page. There's some group that you could sign up. Just Google or search Avnish and Anita. They have a website, which is avnishandanita.com, which I'll write down there. Hope that was useful. Keep the love alive.